everyone, this is Karen.
Hi everybody, I am Shane.
Today we're looking at a lesson called Could Tofu Help Solve the Plastic Crisis?
Wow, you pronounce tofu so cutely. I usually say tofu.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard it your way too.
And the vocabulary words are plastic.
Plastic.
Many people are trying to reduce the amount of plastic they use in their daily lives.
Squeeze.
Squeeze.
The cook picked up the bag of chicken, squeezed out the air, and sealed it.
Process.
Process.
The water cycle is an example of a natural process.
Remaining.
Remaining.
Brenda drank the remaining coffee in her paper cup before throwing it out.
Very good. Lab.
Lab.
Dr. Banner hasn't left the lab for several days.
Convince.
Convince.
Abby convinced her mom to buy her a new pair of basketball shoes.
Ooh. Okay, so we're talking about could tofu help solve the plastic crisis? How do these things relate to each other?
Well, first of all, I love all soybean products. I think as
too.
I'm a vegetarian, I depend on tofu and soy milk and tempeh and these kind of things for protein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's very important in your diet.
Yeah, and obviously for millions and millions of people around the world.
That's right. I mean, like, I really, really love soy milk too. And I love tofu. And I love a lot of things that's made of soybeans.
But there's a lot of waste, and this is how it's connected to plastic. Usually,
let's hear it.
the leftover fiber, because we usually squeeze out the liquid
That's right.
from the soybean. So all that's left is basically just the fiber from that bean, and it just gets wasted.
Okay, so that thing is called okara, right?
Yeah, okara. So now what they're doing is turning this fiber into a plastic wrap.
That's pretty
replacement.
cool. Really?
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And I think the wonderful thing about this is when people think of plastic, they think, oh, it's not environmentally friendly. But this type of plastic wrap, it actually breaks down completely after a month.
Right, so it just goes right back into the cycle of life.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So it's good for our body and good for the environment.
Yay, tofu.
All right, let's enjoy today's lesson.
Enjoy.
Could tofu help solve the plastic crisis? Soybeans are used around the world to make popular foods like tofu, miso, and tempeh, but a scientist in Singapore has found a way to use them for something else entirely.
Today's lesson is called Could Tofu Help Solve the Plastic Crisis? Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. So, are they going to make my cell phone out of tofu? Am I going to take my stuff home in a tofu bag? Are all the kids' toys going to be made from tofu now instead of plastic?
Or maybe they'll take the plastic and turn it into delicious tofu.
But isn't
plastic tofu.
Isn't plastic made with oil?
It's not edible.
No.
So no, that's probably not what's going to happen. But it says here that maybe tofu could be the answer to our prayers. Maybe it could help solve the plastic crisis. How about that? Anyways, we've been talking about plastic. Plastic is everywhere, everyone. When you see a bottle in a convenience store that's not made out of glass, chances are it is made out of plastic. There are plastic bags, plastic bottles, parts of cars are made out of plastic. Plastic is everywhere. We definitely have a plastic crisis. Now, like Mike said before, plastic is a petroleum product. It's made from oil, and it's very useful. Very useful. It's just there's too much of it, and there's too much of it ending up in the garbage, and that's a bad thing. For example, many people are trying to reduce the amount of plastic they use in their daily lives. By the way, the word plastic can be used as a noun or as an adjective. The material is called plastic. If something is made out of plastic, you can call it a plastic something, like a plastic Coca-Cola bottle.
Right, exactly. And there are a lot of plastic Coca-Cola bottles, very few glass ones left over. Plastic is useful, it's cheap, it's light, it's strong, but the problem is it takes about 500 years to break down in the garbage. So it's there for a long time, long after we are all gone. So we would love to be able to find something to replace plastic, but it is very useful. Let's look at the article. Soybeans are used around the world to make popular foods like tofu, miso, and tempeh. Tempeh. All right.
But get this, a scientist in Singapore has found a way to use them for something else entirely.
So not making foods like the ones we listed there?
We'll be using soybeans in an entirely different way, thanks to this scientist in Singapore. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break. When we come back, we'll learn how tofu might just save the day.
He didn't just invent soy sauce, did he?
That's been around for a really long time.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 Could tofu help solve the plastic crisis？ 豆腐能帮助解决塑胶危机吗？好，这边用到一个单字 plastic。Plastic 它是当名词用来指塑胶或是塑胶制品，也可以当形容词来形容塑胶的。Jeff 在解释单字时有用到石油这个字 petroleum。它是拼作 Petroleum，petroleum 就表示石油。那还有用到 edible， 它是说塑胶不能吃嘛 ，edible，edible 则是形容可食用的。好，课文一开始提到说，在世界各地都有用大豆来制作像是豆腐啊、味噌之类的食物。不过，新加坡有一名科学家找到一种完全不一样的用处。那我们赶快回到课文里面看看大豆还可以用来做什么。
Could tofu help solve the plastic crisis? Every day, millions of tons of soybeans are squeezed for their liquid, which is used to make the different soybean-based foods we all eat. After the liquid has been extracted, the leftover soybean product, called okara, is normally thrown out. In Singapore alone, 30 tons of okara are added to garbage dumps daily. However, that may change soon, because Singaporean scientist William Chen has discovered a way to turn okara into a plastic wrap replacement.
Okay, before we learn how tofu might just be the answer to our plastic-related prayers, let's learn a little bit about soybeans and how we use soybeans. Yeah, every day it says millions of tons of soybeans are squeezed for their liquid, which is used to make the different soybean-based foods we all eat. So there you go, you get the soybeans, you squeeze them. Next thing you know, we got tofu and miso, all sorts of good stuff.
Interesting. So it's actually the liquid that gets squeezed out of the beans. That's what we use to make food. And you made that gesture with your hands, squeezing things. When you squeeze something, this verb means you're putting pressure or force on all sides. You're pushing it from the outside to the inside. And yeah, you would squeeze something like a bean or something to get the water out of it, or a sponge or a rag. If you're trying to make it dry, you would squeeze it or twist it or something like that. You could also squeeze something like a can. If you take an empty can and squeeze it with your hand, you will crush the sides of the can or the bottle because you're putting pressure on the outside, and that's forcing things towards the center. For example, the cook picked up the bag of chicken, squeezed out the air, and sealed it. In order to get the air out, they had to squeeze it and force it out of that bag, and then they can seal it, and I guess the chicken will last longer.
Yeah, this morning, before I brushed my teeth, I took my tube of toothpaste, squeezed it a little bit, and put some toothpaste on my toothbrush.
There you go.
That's what squeezing is all about. Anyways, after the liquid has been extracted, after they've squeezed out all of this beautiful, beautiful soybean juice, the leftover soybean product, called okara, is normally thrown out.
Oh, so these are the dried parts of the bean that we don't really use anymore. It just ends up in the garbage. And to give you an idea of how much garbage is made by producing things from soybeans, in Singapore alone, 30 tons of okara are added to garbage dumps daily. 30 tons a day because of all this soy milk, tofu, miso, things like that. So this is a waste product that is just filling up, garbage dumps or whatever. And if we could find a way to use it, that would be good for everybody.
Oh, it's the worst, isn't there? We'll never be able to use this stuff. It's going to be a millstone around our necks forever, right?
Don't speak so soon.
Don't speak so soon. The next sentence starts with the word however.
But?
However, that may change soon because Singaporean scientist William Chen has discovered a way to turn okara into a plastic wrap replacement. So there you go. Replace one type of garbage for another.
But how does he take these dried up, crushed old beans and turn it into that thin, see-through plastic sheet that you use to put over bowls and wrap food in?
I think we'll learn about that after a break,
I
Mike.
hope so, but I bet it involves science.
He is a Singaporean scientist.
See, I was right.
刚刚说到大豆可以用来做成豆腐啊、味噌之类的食物，那每天有好几百万吨的大豆被榨成汁，而那些豆液就是用来做成我们都会吃的各种大豆制品。豆液萃取完之后，剩下的豆渣则通常会被丢掉。好，文中用到 soybean based， 它是形容词，形容以大豆为主的。那么 okara 它是指大豆渣，又称为 soy pulp。好，那我们再来看单字 squeeze。squeeze 它是动词，表示挤出、榨出，像你要挤出汁液啊、榨出水等等。还有 extract 这个动词则表示提取、提炼。好，刚刚说到豆渣通常会被丢掉。那要注意，它的量不少诶。课文提到说，光是在新加坡，每天就有30吨的豆渣被丢进垃圾堆里面，很浪费。不过幸好，新加坡科学家陈威廉他发现一种方法，可以把豆渣变成保鲜膜的替代品，也许呢可以帮忙减少许多浪费。那文中的 plastic wrap 就是用来指保鲜膜。刚刚 Jeff 老师讲到这个大量豆渣被丢掉的时候，他用到A millstone around one's neck， 其中的 millstone 是拼作 millstone， 是叫做石磨，它是用来磨碎这种去壳谷粒啊，或是杂粮的器具。好，那当你脖子上套着石磨磨盘，就表示有沉重的负担，有沉重包袱的意思。解法课文中。
Could tofu help solve the plastic crisis? When okara is put through a special fermentation process, microbes can turn the remaining nutrients in the food waste into a fiber called cellulose. This cellulose costs less than plastic to make, breaks down completely after a month, and even helps reduce food waste. The best part is that it works just as well as normal plastic wrap. Although Chen has succeeded in the lab, he still needs to convince the world of his vision. If this happens, the next soy milk you drink won't only taste good, but be good for the environment too.
All right, before the break, you wanted to know how William Chen is going to turn like soybean waste or a side product from tofu and stuff like that production into plastic wrap. I think we're going to learn how to answer your question right now.
Awesome. All right, so let's keep reading. It says, this is describing the scientist William Chen's process when okara is put through a special fermentation process. Microbes can turn the remaining nutrients in the food waste into a fiber called cellulose.
Cellulose.
Yeah.
Anyways, here we've got two vocabulary words that we have to talk about. Okay, first of all, we have the noun process. When we're talking about a process, we're talking about the act of making something or possibly producing that thing. But more specifically, a process. It's like the actions or the steps that you take to bring something about, to do something. Here we're talking about a fermentation process. Well, how do we ferment something? Somewhere, someone's got a recipe, a set of instructions on how to do that, how to ferment something. And when you go ahead and you follow the steps, let's say, those instructions one by one, you'll start the fermentation process and you'll start fermenting things. For example, the water cycle is an example of a natural process. Yes, it rains. The rain enters a river or a stream. It evaporates, goes to the clouds, and falls again. That's a cycle that goes on and on and on. It's also a process, you could say.
Because it has several different steps to be completed. All right, and remaining, this adjective, remaining is just what is left after you've done the main action. All right, for example, if you're eating a meal and you can't quite finish all the food, what's left on your plate is the remaining food. Someone might say, oh, just scrape the remaining food into the garbage or something like that. What is left, what is not needed. If you give yourself an hour to do a job, a task, and it takes only 50 minutes, you have 10 minutes remaining. In that remaining 10 minutes of time, you can take a break or, sit down and have a little rest. Or if you have a bunch of money to spend on something and you don't spend all of it, that money that's left over is the money that is remaining after you bought whatever you were focused on, whatever you wanted. For example, Brenda drank the remaining coffee in her paper cup before throwing it out. This gives us an idea. There was probably just a little bit of coffee at the end there at the bottom, and she finished it off. What was left over?
So there you go. William Chen isn't going to make plastic wrap. He's going to make cellulose, a plastic wrap substitute. And get this cellulose, it's pretty good. This cellulose costs less than plastic to make. It's cheap. Then it breaks down completely after a month, not 500 years. Whoa. And even helps reduce food waste. Yes, the byproducts from soy production and tofu production and stuff like that won't end up in the garbage. Therefore, we'll be reducing or cutting down on food waste. Now, the best part though, is that it works just as well as normal plastic wrap.
Wow.
So this is a win-win-win-win-win situation.
Absolutely. Everyone seems to win except the big oil companies, but that's fine. They have enough money. All right, so there you go. It's really good for the environment. It takes care of that waste. It's cheaper than normal plastic, and it works just as well. Although Chen has succeeded in the lab, he still needs to convince the world of his vision. Although Chen has succeeded in the lab, he still needs to convince the world of his vision. This gives us the idea that he's done the science. It seems to work, but taking it from, working on it in a lab over several days or weeks in a scientific way, and then turning it into something that can be made in a factory quickly and cheaply, that's difficult. So he needs to convince the world. He needs to change people's minds and probably get some rich business person to give him money to try to make it really work.
So there you go. Chen has succeeded in the lab, but can he move his creation from the lab to reality? Can he actually make this a practical substitute for plastic wrap on a large scale? That's the question. Yes, he's got a vision, but can he really make this happen? Can he make the world believe that he has this ability? Anyways, before we move on, we've got the noun lab to talk about. The word lab is short for laboratory. A laboratory, or a lab, is a place where scientists work. Okay, that's where they do their research. That's where they conduct experiments and stuff like that. For example, Dr. Banner hasn't left the lab for several days. Okay, next up, we've got the next vocabulary word of the day, the verb convince.
Yeah, to convince is basically to change someone's mind. You talk to them, you try to get them to see things in a different way, you present them with information they didn't know, or you just go, please, please change your mind.
That's pleading with
You just kind of beg them. But if you can get them to change their mind, you have convinced them. Generally, we do it by just giving them better ideas and good arguments and maybe pointing out things they don't know or haven't thought of, and they'll go, okay. You've convinced me. You've changed my mind. I will do what you are asking me to do. For example, Abby convinced her mom to buy her a new pair of basketball shoes. Mom, my shoes are old. They're on sale. I won't ask you for anything more for the rest of the year. Please, could I have them? So she got them.
You have successfully persuaded me. Awesome. Yes, you persuade someone. You get them to come around, maybe. But once you finally change their mind and you've successfully persuaded them, you have convinced them. Anyways, if this happens, the next soy milk you drink won't only taste good, but be good for the environment too. So there you go. Maybe tofu can save the day. So we're wrapping up our article by saying this. Not only can soy milk taste good because it's just delicious, it can also taste good because you're doing something good for the planet. All right, folks, that's it for our article. Now we have the what do you think question to ask and then answer. Do you think this product can help solve the plastic crisis? Explain why or why not.
All right, well, we don't know that much about it, but from what we've learned in our article, I would say this product could be key to solving the plastic crisis because it's producing something that works just like plastic, but using something more environmentally friendly.
And cheaper.
And cheaper, exactly. I just think business people need to be convinced that it really will be a good substitute, a good replacement for normal plastic stuff, because we know it's bad.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. Well, we know plastic's bad.
Yeah.
Cellulose is awesome.
It could be.
Okay, everyone, with that, it's time for us to say bye-bye. We'll see you next month.
Take care.
要怎么把豆渣变成保鲜膜的替代品呢？课文提到说，豆渣经过一道特殊的发酵制成时候呢，微生物可以把这种厨余里面剩余的养分转变成一种叫做纤维素的纤维。那这种纤维素的制造成本低于塑胶，1个月后它就会完全分解。这不但可以减少浪费，它的功效还跟一般保鲜膜一样好哦。那我们来看2个单字 ，process。Process 它可以指过程，也可以用来表达生物或是化学的变化过程。那么 remaining 它是形容词，形容剩余的。那麦克老师提到，人们可能会把盘子里面剩下不要的食物刮掉啊，丢进这个厨余里面。这时候老师用到一个动词叫做 scrape，scrape 表示刮掉或是消除。好，再来看补充单字 fermentation 它是指发酵，那去掉字尾 ation 就会得到它的动词 ferment 表示使什么发酵或是酝酿。好，再来看补充单字 cellulose 表示纤维素，那么 microbe 表示微生物。课文最后就提到说，虽然那一位新加坡科学家已经在实验室获得成功了，可是他还需要让全世界来相信他的远见，希望这个方法可以赶快普遍应用，这会对环境很有帮助。我们最后来看2个单字 lab 表示实验室，这个字其实是 laboratory 的简称。那么 convince 它表示使什么信服、说服。Charles 老师说的 persuade 这个动词，它有说服、劝服或是使某人相信的意思。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。大家好，我是 Hanny， 欢迎收看我们的文法单元。今天要介绍的文法重点有3个，第一个是 not only A but also B。第2个是感官动词做连缀动词的用法，第3个是 be good for 加名词或动名词。好，我们先来学 not only A but also B， 这表示不仅怎么样，而且怎么样，它是用来连接词性相同的字词。好，那其中的 also 也可以换作 to 或是 as well 来表达，可是这2个是要摆在句尾哦。例如Sweet potatoes are not only delicious, but also good for your health. 番薯不仅好吃，而且有益健康。那它的后半句这个 but also good for your health， 你也可以把它改写成 but good for your health too， 或是 but good for your health as well。好，接着来学习感官动词当连缀动词的用法。感官动词 look 表示看起来 ，taste 尝起来 ，feel 感觉起来、摸起来 ，smell 闻起来 ，sound 听起来。好，这些它们可以当连缀动词用，后面可以接形容词或是接 like 加名词。那我们来看几个例句。Amanda looks upset。Amanda 看起来很沮丧 ，Amanda 看起来不开心。好，那我们再造个例句哦。The milk tea tastes sweet。这个奶茶尝起来甜甜的。The soap smells like roses。这块肥皂闻起来像玫瑰，好香哦。好，那我们最后来学习 be good for 加名词或动名词。 好，这个句型呢，它表示对什么什么有帮助，对什么是好的，像是 regular exercise is good for your heart， 规律运动对你的心脏有益。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们下次见喽，拜拜。
Everybody.
欢迎来到 English in Action.
Oh, sorry about that. What are you? That's an owl. What's wrong with you?
你活该。
Sheesh.
Anyway,
So what's the topic today?
你自找的。
啊，这就是活该的意思。
对，你真的活该。
I did it to myself, right? It's my
Yeah.
fault. Oh.
自找麻烦的。
Sorry, but mine was accident.
不该打我的 ，OK？你打我的头发，你就是活该。
Okay, whatever. Should we go to the dialogue?
Yes, dialogue.
Dialogue. Again?
I can't believe I failed my final exam.
You asked for it. You're always partying instead of studying.
Oh, my mom's gonna kill me.
Okay, so you failed your exam. Actually, you did ask for it. Well, you didn't really ask.
我没有
Hey,
真的
hey, can I fail the exam? Okay, sure.
我没有真的去要，我只是自找麻烦而已。我们不念书就是自找麻烦。
对，你没有好好念书，你是在 partying.
Yeah.
Okay, or you could say you had it coming.
Okay, so had it coming， 其实这件事情，如果你这样做的话，
一定会来，
一定会来，一定会得到那一种结果的。
That's right, you had it coming. Or you can say you reap what you sow.
Oh, okay， 这一句。
So sow is like take the seed and put it into the ground.
所以就是种东西嘛。
And then reap is like to take the vegetable or
收
something.
割收获。
Yeah, so in Chinese, what's there some saying?
种瓜得瓜，种豆得豆，善有善报，恶有恶报。
Wow! The Chinese is very long. So English is quite short.
Yeah,
You reap what you sow. Okay, so if you really want to learn English, you really need to put in a lot of effort because you reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow.
Right? So you can just ask us for it.
Yeah.
Ask us for help.
看我们就对了。
就对了。
You asked for it.
You asked for it.
You had it coming.
You had it coming.
You reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow.